6 on your first agricultural television in the capital city of Nigeria, Abuja. I am your girl Hilda Homself-Fatom, and I tell you today's episode is going to be a special one because I have the big fish in the house. He is Dr. Diola Tayo Lobanjo. He is the director to Federal Department of Agricultural Extension Services of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security in Nigeria. I know you want to know him. You want to, of course, learn from what he is going to say. And the topic is an interesting one. Just stay tuned and don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is a proceed on your first agricultural television in the capital city of Nigeria, Abuja. And of course, I am Hilda. Before we went on to break, I told you I have a very big fish. And I will allow him to tell us who he is because I don't think I am worthy of introducing who he is.
Thank you, Ada.
Can you tell us who you are?
My name is Dr. Diola Tayo Lobanjo, a director in the Federal Department of Agricultural Extension Services of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, Abuja.
Wow, that's a great one. How has been the experience, for the number of years and for you to be at this cadre? And I have to tell you congratulations. So tell us a little about your experience in the civil service.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ida. It's been a very wonderful experience. Excuse me. I have spent. I'm already very close to my 34th year in the public service. I started in 1990 March, and I was a presidential Nigerian'S National Honors Awardee in 1989, which gave me an automatic employment. It was a privileged appointment. Because I served in the old Anambra State, comprising Enugu, Ebonyi, and Enugu, Ebonyi, and Anambra State, and I got the national award from that state, and I got an automatic employment immediately, and I've run through the ladders as a level 8 officer now to the rank of a director of agriculture in the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, but with the schedule in agricultural extension services.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
To talk about agricultural development programs and the impact on Nigerian economy. So, sir, what can be said? What can you tell us about agricultural development programs in Nigeria?
Yeah, we have several agricultural development programs in Nigeria. The most popular one is the one that was being run by the ADPs. We call it Agricultural Development Programs of the ADP. I think it started about 1981. We call it Multi-State Agricultural Development Program. It started as a pilot pilot project of about 12 states, then later expanded under Multi-State Agricultural Development Program called MACDP to cover all the 36 states, and that was why all the states of the Federation got involved in agricultural development programs. And basically they focus on agricultural technical services and extension service delivery in the country. In fact, that was the beginning of agricultural extension service in the country through the Agricultural Development Program. It will also interest you that ADPs also gave birth to several agricultural development programs, mainly FADAMA, mainly National Program on Food Security, and National another one that is of great importance is National Food Security Program, basically under the Federal Agriculture. We have a coordinating body that coordinates the activities of this agricultural development program. Initially, it was called FACU, Federal Agricultural Coordinating Unit, and the name was modified to Project Coordinating Unit, PCU, at the headquarters of the ministry in Abuja here. It later changed to what we call NEFRA, a National Food Reserve Agency, and came back to PCU. As we speak, we have close to 10 or 12 agricultural development programs that are funded externally by multilateral donor agencies. Some could be grants, and some could be part funding from the multilateral agencies, federal government, state and local government. And some of these partners for these programs include the World Bank, the African Development Bank, the Islamic Development Bank, and of course the federal government and the state government. It used to be a sort of partnership, a co-funding, and the effect of these programs have been extremely great and wonderful in terms of agricultural development in Nigeria.
That's good. Yes, that's what I wanted to say. So with all these list of programs, what are some of the welcoming developments and what are some of the challenges or the setback for some to to actually continue, and some that are still continuing, and some that are not in existence now? So what were some of the welcoming developments in regards to those programs?
You see, most of the agricultural development programs are sort of interventions. Beyond the federal government, state government, agricultural activities, because they are specially designed to intervene in development of agricultural production and productivity in the country. Let me pick about 2 or 3, for example. The agricultural development project centers mainly on improved production practices through efficient and effective extension service delivery. The opinion is that the farmers at the rural level, they don't have enough information on how to perform their role as farmers. So extension services helps in aggregating this good information that may help them to perform and pass it across to them. For example, information on how to prepare their lands, information on how to source and fertilize their crops, information on harvesting, information on crop protection practices, information on weeding, which are not ordinarily available to farmers. Extension take this information to the farmers with the ultimate aim of improving their production and enhancing their productivity. And ultimately too, the yield, the farmers' yield is increased, and of course their income also increased, and their livelihood is also improved. So extension has a great role in shaping the life of farmers through increased production and increased standard of living arising from the increased income expected from the extension activities. I also pick an example of what we call RAMP, Rural Agricultural Access and Marketing, RAMP project. It involves in enhancing the marketing of agricultural produce by creating markets and improving the rural roads and linking farmers to the buyers. It's also an intervention. I also pick one which is called the Value Chain Development Program. The Value Chain Development Program is centered on about 4 crops: rice, cassava, tomato, and I think maize. 4 value chains to specifically develop those value chains and see how Nigeria could be sustainable in terms of this production. And we have seen in some states, we have seen an increase in the yield of this crop. For example, in cassava, in Ogun State, for example, from about 10 tons to almost 23 tons per hectare. Yes, arising from the activities of the VCDP. They imbibe the good agricultural practices that will enable them to get more yield. We now have farmers imbibing the good agricultural practices, which has led to increase in yield of their crops and ultimately higher income for them.
So from what you said, this RAM now, how have they, how have they gotten themselves in the involvement of market, a middleman involvement in marketing, that is in price control between the farmer and the market and the consumer? Because discover that a lot of farmers, after harvesting, after all the struggles, when taking it to the market, the middleman involvement at the end takes most of the profit margin. I don't know, was there any policy put in place to curtail that during the program of the RAM?
Yes, the role of middlemen has always been there. It's not a palatable role because they determine the price at which farmers sell their produce, and what a farmer is not making as profit, the middlemen are making 10 times that money for themselves. One of the achievements of RAM program is establishment of rural-based markets, so that farmers can take their produce and product directly to the markets for whoever wants to buy and buy. And apart from that, one of the major problems we have in agricultural development is the road networks to where this produce farm harvest are available are not good. But RAMP is assisting us to develop rural access road so that farm produce can be easily transferred from the farm to the rural market, and making it easier for farmers logistically to convey their produce from the farms to the market, and making it easy for farmers to also sell their produce right on the farm, and improving the rural economy of that particular area.
We're still with our guest in the house, and he has listed out some of the programs that have been in existence to see that agricultural programs help our farmers and help and develop the country as a body. We'll go on a short break. When we come back, we'll talk more about some of the programs. Like Fadama program is one of the successful programs that existed. So we'll get to know what were some of the strategies and what were some of the weaknesses that affected the program. Stay here and we'll be right back, and don't go anywhere. Yeah, this is still Improved Seeds, and I am Hilda Front, and of course I'm still with our guest in the house. Before we went on the break, we had some highlight of some of the programs that have been in existence to help develop, and control and help Nigerian farmers. Right now, we are going to talk about the Fadama as one of the programs. It's one of the most successful programs that we know at our time. What were some of the successful stories or strategies that was put in place, to make it stand out?
Yeah, Fadama, as the name implies, is an Hausa name, okay, which is meant for a receding flooded area. In Yoruba call it Akuro. That is by the valley of the river, and Akuro by the valley of the river after rains must have subsided, and it now went during the implementation to cover what we call dry season farming, and it's also a program of the agricultural development program being being run by the 36 states of the Federation and FCT. It became a popular program, and it became the flagship of the ADPs, and with very good funding, very good planning, and very good implementation. In fact, Fadama went from Fadama 1 to Fadama 2 to Fadama 3 and Fadama 4, that is called additional financing. That tells you that it was the success of Fadama 1 that led to Fadama 2, Fadama 3, and additional financing. And it made a lot of impact in agricultural development in Nigeria, because it has an extension component, it has an agricultural technical services component, it has a market information component, it has a market development component, it has a provision of access road component, it has a farmers cooperative component, very large, and there's no aspect of agriculture that is not involved in Fadama. It also has this aspect of packaging good agricultural practices and disseminating them to our farmers in Nigeria. In fact, it became the hub of agricultural development program, in Nigeria. It was a huge success because we saw the impacts. Farmers now imbibe practices that can lead to higher production of their crops, which means more money for them, and which means better life for our farmers. And one of it is also the issue of cooperative, farmers cooperative. Farmers promote a lot of farmers cooperative society, and pulling research together among farmers to achieve that things that they could not achieve if it were done by one farmer.
What were some of the challenges that the system or the program faced?
Yeah, the challenges were not many, to the best of my knowledge. Fadama was a success, 100% success, because the objectives of the programs were met 100%. In terms of extension service delivery, in terms of procurement and distribution of quality inputs to farmers. Farmers now know that they need excellent and quality inputs for them to succeed as farmers, and that was gotten easily from the Farmers program. Now the Farmers Cooperatives Group too are very wonderful, because farmers learn from each other. Farmers to farmers knowledge management, and whatever somebody, for example, in a group picks, another see it happening and doing well, they also pick. So it's a way of peer review. Are you getting me? So, and the Farmers Cooperative Group is still working as at today. One aspect of Fadama program is also what they call Water Users Association. Are you getting me? Fadama program dug lots of wells. I'm talking of wells, tube wells, and for people to carry out dry season farming, even for a group of people, and they can dig 2 wells in a farm, and to provide water for vegetable farmers. And you know that vegetable farming brings in more money in dry season than in wet season. So Fadama was a huge success as far as I am concerned. And it also interests you that Fadama also provide farm implements, even tractors. Yeah, even tractors, tillers for cooperative groups that are involved in production. Fadama also was involved in processing, supporting farmers cooperative in processing of their produce, either for gari, either for fufu, either for flour, and many others. So it's an holistic project that really succeeded as far as I'm concerned. We have very few limitations, and I can't even remember any.
Well, that is beautiful. All right, sir. Federal Ministry of Agriculture, which is now Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security. From the list of some of the success and strategies used by some of these programs, does the ministry now have any new initiative or new strategies to put in to help food security and council zero food hunger now? I mean, one of the goals they want to achieve at the end of the day. Are there any programs, are there any initiatives now that are being put in place?
Yes, there are great initiatives from the ministry end. Okay. Don't forget, agriculture is on the concurrent list of the government. It has the participation of the federal government, the state, and the local government. But I'll tell you, the federal government, especially Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, is even doing a lot to help the state and the local governments in terms of attaining their objectives and goals in agriculture in Nigeria. Let me pick this department for example. Department of Agricultural Extension Services, Federal Department of Agricultural Extension Services. This year alone, we have conducted more than 60 training programs for farmers spread across the states in Nigeria. Not only training, we train them and we also empower them with what we call starter packs, like inputs, quality inputs, like fertilizer, like seed, even for poultry farmers, like broilers, like feed, even for fish, farmers like fingerlings, like fish, like feeds. In fact, we have trained close to 100,000 farmers with empowerments within the last 10 months in Nigeria. And that is supposed to be the role of state and local government. But the federal government is intervening. Are you getting me? Seriously, by training farmers on the best practices to get more money from their enterprise and also support them with inputs and even cash. And of course, let me shock you, we don't even ask them to go for training without even supporting them. We even pay for their transport. So that no farmer will say, I don't have money to come for training or to get the inputs that the government wants to give me. And I'm talking of just one department. Virtually all technical departments in the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security are involved in training and empowerment of farmers at the local level. Massive training and empowerment of farmers at the local level.
That is a great one. That's well done to your department. So now, sir, these departments now, how well do you go back to, after this, after the training, after all that has been done, do you still go back to monitor them? Because the Nigerian mindsets, once they give them this, they go back and relax. Does the department go back to checkmate and make sure that the farmers actually are doing what they are expected to do?
Yes, when we conduct this training for farmers, we do it in collaboration with the State Agricultural Development Program. And we also carry out what we call monitoring and evaluation of what we have done. We do a follow-up seriously. Let me give you an example. We just trained some people on broiler production for Christmas. Almost 150 people. We give them day-old chicks, we give them feeds. And we monitor them. Most of them have been sending reports. People who collected 25 chickens said, we have raised them, only one died, only two died. And I tell you, most of those chickens, none will go for less than 15,000 during this Christmas. Yes, we have achieved two things. We have achieved two things. One, we have let them know that you can rear broiler production as a sustained way of making money. Are you getting me? Permanently at your backyard. That you can rear poultry for maximum 8 weeks and make good money. People are not getting to know that there's big money in broiler production. It's a short duration business and there's no risk involved. Are you getting me? You give somebody 50 day-old chicks and they lost just 2. That's about 96% success, which is huge. And by the end of this Christmas, they will smile home. Just with little intervention, they will eat. Their families will benefit from the chicken and they will sell the surplus.
That's well done. As a director and as a director, I know you have a lot of challenges. What are some of the challenges you want to highlight here? And are there some that you have intervention for, or you want some that the Federal Ministry should listen and come to your aid?
Well, the federal government is doing its best in line with the resources available in the country. and we are competing, the ministry is competing with other sectors for the little resources we have in the country, and the government has been helping agriculture has been helping us to develop agriculture. Whatever our problems are, the government is getting it solved, and the resources are not enough for all the ministries, not only agriculture. We are managing our resources very well to get good results.
Do you have any last word for our farmers out there that are watching?
Yes, our farmers are doing wonderfully well. We need to encourage them, to let them continue what they are doing, and listen to our extension agents, who will always come to inform them about the best practices for them to achieve higher yield and hence greater income. Agriculture is dynamic. Whatever you know today, it may change tomorrow. And the essence of change is to change your orientation, is to change your style of farming, which we believe will bring good yield and productivity. And when productivity means you are getting good yield, you are getting good money, and of course it will reflect in your in your life. We will encourage them whenever they have problem or they seek information, they should get across to us or their local agricultural development extension agents, who are always there to assist farmers in whatever areas of their needs.
Thank you very much for having us here and of course enlightening us. I hope next time we come knocking, you will tell us more, and of course I'm so perplexed because you've given me another insight of agricultural development programs, and we wish that everybody will be carried along. Well done, sir.
Thank you, Ida, and thank you, everybody. The Public Agricultural Extension and the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria, we are partners in progress, and we welcome you once again, even all the time when you come to visit us. You are most welcome.
I hope you've learned a lot from our episode today. Why don't you keep a date with us next time for another interesting topic with another enlightening and intelligent guest. Don't be told, and of course, I am Hilda Homsen-Phantom, urging you to keep watching ARCN television. We are the first in agriculture in the whole Nigeria. Thank you and take good care of yourself. Let's all put our hands together to eradicate hunger. See you.